The home page of our site is checked out and is ready to edit. I'm going to click Insert, and we're going to add not an app part this time, but a web part. Remember that web parts include the app parts, but also include all of these other built-in parts and even more. You can build your own web parts, and you can purchase sets of web parts for use in SharePoint. I would like to choose in the Media and Content group the Content Editor web part, easy to use and frequently used. And I need to click where I would like to drop this web part, which is right above the resource library. So by clicking as high up as I can go and using my arrow keys, I can actually get there. So click in this part, but so it's not selected, and then use the up arrow, and there I am. Remember always, after you select the part before you click Add, to make sure your insertion point is where you want it. And there is our Content Editor web part. Now we're ready to edit this web part. And when I do, I will have access to all of the properties of this web part over here on the right. And I'm not going to use them, but I do want to note that one way that I can add content to the content editor is to have a text file that is stored in SharePoint, and I link to that text file. Then when this page loads, it goes and gets the contents of that text file. If you are using a content editor and you'd like to be able to allow someone who doesn't have editing permissions on the page to be able to modify the content that appears there, for example, a summary that might change on a monthly basis, one way to do that is to put that content in a file that they do have the ability to edit and link to it by entering a URL right here and testing the link. But that's not what I want to do. I simply want to click here to enter content, and notice that I could not do that until I had opened this for editing. I've had people wonder about where the other libraries on the site are, so I'm going to indicate this site has 2 libraries. Click the Documents link in the Quick Launch to open the Shared Documents library. That looks pretty good. What else might I want to do? Well, I don't want this to say Content Editor, so I'm going to click on Appearance, and I can simply remove that. Don't need it. Let's click Apply. I'm going to save this. So just deleting that title didn't get us very far. And in fact, it should still have a title, even if we're not going to display it. So I'm going to put Library Explanation. I could leave Content Editor, that's fine. Here's how we're going to get rid of the title. I have choices about Chrome. Think of Chrome when you see this as trim. We don't use much chrome on cars anymore, but we used to, and all of the chrome around the doors and all of that other trim, the window dressing, so to speak, is where this word comes from. I don't want to have a title. I want a border only. And so it's in modifying this Chrome type that we're going to make that title go away. Let's save this. And notice this site has 2 libraries. Click the Documents link in the Quick Launch. That's great. And that is a use of the Content Editor web part. We'll take a look at some other web parts in the next few movies. For now, I'm going to check in my page and note that I added a Content Editor web part above the resource library.